Now that I have the M20 out, I can start removing a couple things from the engine bay and prepping it to put the M50 in. This battery's been in here since I bought the car and hasn't been connected in a couple years, so I can take that out. I don't plan to run cruise control in this car, so I can pull the cruise control pieces out. Trace this vacuum line. For now, I'm just going to cut the vacuum line here. Ooh, that wasn't a vacuum line. Well, it's a good thing I don't plan to run cruise control, because that was the connector, which I should have given that some thought. Oh well. I can also remove this guide off the strut tower too. So now that the module is removed, this is the throttle plate that bolted on to the manifold and kind of includes the throttle cable, but I'll have to run, I think a M52 throttle cable works best from what I read. So I've got to eventually get that swapped in, but for now I can at least get the plate off and get the cruise control cable out of the way. But for now, I'll just kind of tuck it in back here. While I'm over here, I'm going to go through some of this wiring and see if I need it all. See if I can find the cruise control wiring and see if that can be removed altogether. And there's also a little canister down here with like a vent line, and the horn's over there. I'm going to see if I can get removed too. Also this vacuum line, which I believe might run into the cabin of the car. Again, I don't remember what for, but I'm sure that can ultimately get removed. For now, I'm just going to tuck it out of the way. So there's the throttle cable. I have the cruise control wiring here kind of pinpointed. So again, I'm just going to tuck that out of the way for now, because ultimately, depending on where it leads to, I could get rid of it. It looks like it goes into the firewall here, so just into the chassis wiring basically. But like I said, for now, let's just isolate it, throw it over there around the booster, and let it go for now. I don't know if this maybe had an alarm on it, but in 85, I doubt it. Goes into there. Just clip on here. While I'm in here too, I can pull this brake booster hose, because for an M20, it goes on in the throttle body by this end, and I don't think the extra 90 is needed. I'll just use the E36 one and use this to plug into the booster if I have to. So on this side, I know I'm going to start with taking off the coolant reservoir. I don't really know what radiator setup I plan to use yet. From a hose standpoint, E36 one's probably the easiest. That way I can just retain those hoses. But I have a CX Racing aluminum radiator on hand already. But I would like a standalone reservoir. So this one may go back in, but I don't know whether like the hose sizes are the same. over here to the other piece here is the washer fluid tank, which I don't know if I plan to put back in or not. If I do put it back in, it's as simple as just throwing it back, but just kind of cleans up the space for now and lets me clean everything. Coil can come out because that won't be needed anymore. But I think that's pretty much it for the engine bay for now. The insulation on the firewall, I'll eventually pull all that off, and I don't know if this engine bay I'm going to paint or just, like, I definitely need to do something about the rust here. But I have most of the things out, and I mean, at this point I could, if I had the parts for my M50, I could drop it in. Looks like my slave cylinder soft line is busted, so I'm pretty sure that's just an E36 line. And I can tell my hard line is rubbing the steering column. So that'll all need adjusted a little bit, and I'll put another soft line on. That's pretty much it. Just, I'll clean it, pressure wash it, and then it's ready to get the M50 dropped in.